Okay, finally we get to the fun stuff, cooking and eating. Like I said, I'm starting with what I call a real pizza sub. I say that because most so-called pizza subs are just more or less some type of pizza in disguise. Just because you put it on a hoagie or sub sandwich roll or a piece of French bread, it's still just a pizza, built and layered the same as any other pizza. I used to get real pizza subs back in the mid-60s. Before the slew of dozens of pizza delivery joints, we had what they called pizzerias, which were just Italian restaurants that specialized in pizzas. And most of them did pizza subs, which is basically whatever you would want on your pizza, thrown on a griddle and fried up together like you would a cheesesteak. Then just throw it on any kind of a roll. And it looks no more like a pizza than a cheesesteak looks like a steak dinner. Sound good? Let's get cooking. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. All right, let's get started on this griddle's and my very first cook. Here's the ingredients. For my meat, I've got some bacon chopped up into bite-sized chunks. There's my pepperoni. That's my ground pork sausage. And can't forget my onions, my green peppers, and my jalapenos. So yeah, I'm not going to waste your time making you watch me chop all that stuff up. I think we all already know how to chop an onion. I mean, we didn't come here to learn more kitchen knife skills. If I'm going to waste your time, it's going to be telling one of my stupid stories. But not right now. Your mozzarella cheese and some pizza sauce. Okay, let's get started. Start with a little bit of oil there, not too much. And I've been using avocado oil, just because everyone seems to want to use it. Alright, let's start with bacon. Takes the longest. And I want to have plenty of bacon grease in there to cook everything on. Okay, use the tongs to separate that. Yeah, I want to get them all laid out nice and flat. And now I put this on these burners. I have that at pretty much maximum low. This burner I've got on medium. I'll check the temperature, but I'm not sure what temperatures are supposed to be anyways. So right now I'm just going with the medium, high, low, kind of like I do on the stove, where you get used to knowing what all of those are. Anyways, like I said, bacon takes the longest. Then I'll throw in my pork sausage. That can take a while too. That, I think I can use a spatula. Well, one of the first things I noticed that's different than cooking on a stove is that you have two hands free here to cook with. You notice on a stove, this left hand's always holding the pot to do your stirring or chopping or whatever you're doing. So here you kind of got that extra free hand. And I notice a lot of guys are always double-handing with these, and I could see why, and I could see getting pretty good at it. It's probably not quite as hot here as it is here. Make sure this bacon's not burning. Okay, let's get these pepperonis thrown on. They don't take long to cook. Get them spread out a little. Then we'll get those veggies thrown on. Bacon's doing pretty good. Get these pepperonis separated. Okay, let's get all these on. Okay, those jalapenos came out of Pam's garden here, so they're really good. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. Let's let it go for a while. If you notice, all these ingredients I'm using are the exact same ingredients I would use if I was making my own pizza at home, or for that matter, ordering one. Whatever you want on your pizza, that's what you put in your pizza sub. Okay, that looks like it's about ready to get the cheese put on. Okay, let's put that mozzarella on. Let it get melted in. And then when you're putting your sauce on, you want to use as little as possible, a lot less than what you would think. I'm just probably going to use a teaspoon or two. I'm going to let this cheese get all melted in and intertwined with everything. And for this, I just bought this jarred pizza sauce. It's simple to make and it's easy to make, and most of these jarred ones are pretty much the same as what you would make. So yeah, I'm just going to start with one big heaping teaspoon. That cheese is melting in there pretty good. Oh, this is smelling and looking really good. Okay, I'm going to just put a pinch more sauce on it. Always better to start with less because you can add more, but you can't take any away. Okay, that ought to do it. Now for this, I just bought a typical supermarket hoagie roll, and actually I think I'm going to toast it a little bit. Let's get that on. Keep a close eye on that because I don't know how long that could take. This is pretty much done, so I'll slide it over where it's probably not quite as hot. And I'm going to turn this side burner off because I don't need it anymore. That'll still stay warm all the way through to my cleaning. Okay, buns are pretty much toasted, good enough. There we go. Okay. That's actually way too much for ones. I guess I better make 1.5, or a big one and a small one with it. Oh yeah. Tell me that doesn't look good. Well, it does to me. Okay, that's enough. I'll set this aside. Get another piece of bread and get another one going. Okay. I'm going to let that sandwich cool off and clean this griddle now. It's always best to do it right when you're finished cooking. And I already turned this burner off. Now I'm going to turn this one off. And it'll still be plenty hot enough for me squirting water and steaming it and oiling up when I'm finished. So, better get this second one offside to a plate and start my scraping. That's what you heard fall over here. Well, nothing's really sticking. Never emptied out those oil rags from before, but maybe. Okay, it's not going to take much, but I am going to use some water on it. Like I said, it is still plenty hot enough for steaming up. Okay, that looks pretty good. All the chunks and everything are gone. I'm going to wipe that with a paper towel. Okay, that's looking pretty good, pretty clean. Okay, let's get a layer of oil on it. Get that wiped in with the paper towel. Same thing, all the corners and edges, as always. Okay, let's commence to eating. Okay, time for the main event. This is what I did everything for. Let's give my first cook its first taste. Mmm. Mmm. That is really good. Like I said, I haven't had one of these in probably 55, 60 years. That's very good. If it looked good to you, give it a try. Like I said, you make it your own, just like ordering your own pizza. You put exactly what you want on it. It is really good. See you later. Okay, just one stupid story before I go. But it's a short one and it involves food. Anyway, at this point in our lives, we're both in our early 70s. Well, we never know. Any meal we have could be our last. You know, like when they give a condemned prisoner his last meal. Well, you want to make sure it's something you absolutely love. So, after a lifetime of all our favorite meals we grew up with, along with all the new things we tried and loved along the way, well, we both have a list of our faves that we try to eat every day. And it's not necessarily the same thing. Heck, I know people that won't buy green bananas, if you know what I mean. Well, that's about it. Thanks for joining me. All comments are welcome. And please subscribe and like. See you next time.